Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Jim Markham, Crystal Dove,
Good morning.
the Horizon team of Century 21, and we have a guest star today, Mr. Billy Saunders. Thank you for being with us. So we have this term that everyone's talking about right now. It's called market shift. Crystal, what does that mean for you?
For us as realtors, what we have noticed is longer time on market, days on market. We're noticing price reductions. Give us a little bit of idea what you're seeing as far as the buyer.
Yeah, well, for us in the lending side of the world, we've seen interest rates go up a little bit. We've all seen that reported on the news in the last couple of weeks. And what we're seeing now from our buyers is through this market shift, and Crystal, you did a great job by mentioning price reductions. We're also starting to see the seller assistance coming back. And what that means to a buyer is that means the sellers are starting to have negotiated as part of an accepted sales contract that the sellers are going to pay contributions or concessions towards the buyer's closing costs. And that's a big deal when you really think about it.
Yes.
You mentioned price reduction, and I think there's a big misconception in the industry as to what's better for the buyer. Is it better to have a price reduction, or is it better to have a seller contribution towards their closing costs?
And that's a good segue, right? So when we talk about a price reduction, that's actually reducing the sales price of a house. And that might give you a little bit savings on a mortgage. But when you talk about a seller credit, that is really a really good opportunity for the sellers and the buyers to improve, one, the available clients to purchase that home, and also the position of the buyer.
Yeah, from the buyer side, that's a big deal because a $10,000 reduction in sales price is really ultimately on average going to save the buyer about $50 a month. But a $10,000 contribution to the buyer's closing cost is going to increase, or it's going to give them the ability to get into the property with less money out of pocket.
Right.
And what I've seen over the last 2 years in particular, when there was more of a seller's market and we hadn't gone through this market shift, what I experienced was that sellers weren't giving any seller concessions towards closing costs.
Right.
So I had a great deal of buyers that were ready to go. They had saved up enough money for their down payment, but they didn't have enough money to cover their down payment and their closing costs.
Yes.
And now with this market shift that we keep talking about, if sellers are making contributions or giving concessions towards the buyer's closing costs, what that ultimately means is it's now opening up opportunity for another round of buyers that can get out and participate and become homeowners that may not have been able to before.
Yeah, and the buyers, so essentially the buyers are now back in the game.
Yes.
Now, interest rates, they are
So
seeing increases.
Yeah, so here's what we've seen over the last few months, or last few weeks in particular. We saw an increase in interest rates. The Fed announced that they were going to raise the Federal Reserve rate by anywhere from 50 basis points to 75 basis points. And the market reacted as we would have expected them to. Interest rates went up significantly in a short period of time. But that was really just like an immediate knee-jerk reaction to what the Federal Reserve Chairman spoke on. What we've seen now is over the last 2 weeks, rates have started to come down a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Home values are still remaining steady, so there's still people out there buying. We're seeing this shift in what the sellers are willing to do regarding reduction in sales price, maybe offer seller assistance. But as far as rates are concerned, they've come down a little bit, but they're still higher than they were a month ago. And as a result, we're seeing buyers utilizing these seller concessions towards their closing costs to do what? Buy down the interest rate.
Buy down the rates.
Yes.
So give us a call. We're going to put our contact information below. We'll also do a little schematic for you to see the different loan options and kind of how the rates work out. But give us a call. We can help you out. We can close some deals for you. We can make sure that you are in the best position possible to win that deal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.